great. I took that load of 80-foot rebar down to Reno, got it delivered, and out in Fernley, Nevada, there's a place that makes foam insulation board. Well, that stuff doesn't weigh nothing. The whole load only weighed like 6,000 pounds. You're 14 feet tall and you're using up every inch of your trailer, maybe overhanging the front and back a little bit, but you're only weighing 6,000 pounds. So I go out there to Fernley, Nevada, and I get me a load of insulation and get it all tarped up and strapped down, and it's supposed to go to Stockton, California, which means Donner Pass. So before I leave the truck stop at Fernley, I get on the internet and on my phone and I check out the weather reports for Donner Pass, and it says chains required and traffic jammed up every which way you look, and I decided to wait a little while, because a lot of times if you wait a little bit, the weather improves, and you know, it's already like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I already had a 3/4 of a day at work in, so I didn't want to go mess with all that. I'll see what things look like tomorrow morning, then I'll head over that way. Well, things got worse. Blizzard conditions, whiteout conditions. The truck stop where I'm at in Fernley is filled up. Reno truck stops are filled up. Roads closed, roads open with chains, roads closed again, road gets reopened with chains. I just decided to wait. Well, I waited most of that day, and I finally got tired of waiting, and I didn't want to go mess with all that, so I decided, I live in Redding, I'm going to head up through Susanville and up to Bernie and across Highway 299 into Redding, and maybe I'll go to the house and deliver the load on Monday, and maybe I'll go deliver it on Friday. Who knows? Well, I get up there to Susanville and I meet up with this other guy, and he lives over on the coast west of Redding, and he'd never driven in the snow before, so him and I were talking on the CB, and we're going across Highway 44, and it's getting a little bit slushy and a little bit snow covered, and I'm kind of helping him out, like, you know, it's, you know, just slow down a little bit, do this, do that. We finally got up to Bernie, and right there at the bottom of Hatchet Mountain in Bernie, chains required. Oh, okay, well, can't be that bad. So I throw a set of singles on the drives and a set of singles on the trailers. Actually, I chained up all 4 outside drive tires and a set of singles on the trailer. And he put his chains on, and we both started up the mountain, and I only had a 6,000 pound load on, but I had a 40,000 pound empty truck, so I didn't have any down pressure, if you know what I mean. Didn't have any weight pushing down on my drive axles, giving me more traction, and I ended up spinning out, even with tire chains on. I come to a stop, and Caltrans snowplow driver come by and yelled at me about not chaining up, but I have my chains on. A little bit later, he come back the other way, and he laid down a nice bed of cinders in front of me, but I couldn't get onto the cinders. He really poured them down too. It was like a dirt road in front of me, but in the meantime, I decided, well, I got 2 more chains still. I'll chain up all 4 tires on my rear drive axle, and I still couldn't get going, and so I took the 2 singles off the trailer and I put them on the inside tires of my front drive axle, and so now I had all 8 drive tires chained up, and I still couldn't get going. I was facing uphill, and I just couldn't get moving. I knew if I could get moving onto those cinders that he put down on the road, then I could go. Meanwhile, it's snowing, and those cinders are getting covered up by snow, and here comes Highway Patrol, and I thought, oh great, I'm going to get a ticket for blocking the road or whatever. That Caltrans driver, snowplow driver, probably called the Highway Patrol and told push to get you moving. And so he did, and I got moving, and I got rolling, and I tried to shift a couple gears, and every time I did, I would start spinning out again. That CHP pushed me all the way to the top of Hatchet Mountain, which I think is about 4 miles. And as long as he was back there just touching my back bumper, just barely pushing on me, I could stay moving. As soon as he'd back off a little bit, I'd start spinning out again. And we made it to the top of the hill, and I told him thank you, and he told me to have a nice day, and I headed on down the other side. I got down to Montgomery Creek, pulled over, pulled all my chains off, and drove on into Redding and went home for the night. And the next day, which was a Friday, I drove on down to Stockton, California, and made that delivery, and that's my story. So, hope you enjoyed it.